Hello, my name is Hugh. I'm a professional pianist, and I love to hang out at pianoworld.com's world-famous forums, one of the largest online discussion boards that you can find covering all sorts of topics for everything to do with the piano, from instrument purchasing to help with piano lessons. I love hanging out there because every once in a while you come across these really interesting questions, and I found this interesting one from Nancy W., who writes, I've been working on a song this summer, Canon in D, arranged by Dan Coates, and it has one small section that I haven't been able to consistently play well. It's at the beginning of the third page, where you're playing some double notes all right in a row. Fingers 3 and 5, then 1 and 3, then 2 and 4, then 3 and 5, back to 1 and 3, 2 and 4. Your hand doesn't have to jump or change positions, it just has to use the right fingers. I can't seem to get my fingers to play cleanly. I'm most often than not, I guess she means to write, I'm more often than not stumbling when trying to play it at the proper speed. It seems like the fingers that aren't supposed to be hitting keys just won't get up and move out of the way. Are there any techniques to help this, besides try to play that section over and over again, which I've done? And when I'm doing just that by itself, it works fine, but when I go to put it together with the rest of the music, I stumble. But not always. It's frustrating. Thanks, Nancy. Nancy, excellent question. I think the key to understanding different kinds of technical problems like this is to kind of think like an engineer. And here's what I mean. By the way, I wasn't able to find a digital version, so what I did is I went on to YouTube and I heard a couple of videos of people playing this particular arrangement, very, very lovely arrangement of Pachelbel's Canon in D. And Dan Coates has written a simplified version for piano, which is very lovely. And so I think I managed to find that passage, and I wrote it down with this open source music notation program called MuseScore. I'll put up a link to this great program up here. So anyway, here's the passage that Nancy is struggling with, and let me just play it for you. It sounds like this. So I think, let me go ahead and snip out the measure that I believe she's having problems with. It's right over here, okay? So let's go ahead and copy that, and we'll put this over here. And let me just enlarge that a little bit, make it easier for us to see. Now, I think what's happening is that she's having difficulty pretty much in here, okay? And let me see if I can figure out, explain why that's so difficult. The fingering that she's using, let me just use this over here, is a 5, 3, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, and then 3, 1 again, 4, 2, and then a 5. I believe that's what she's using, and it looks like this. 3, 1, 4, 2. Okay, now, here's the problem. The problem is really this note over here. It's the F sharp. The F sharp is an elevated black key, okay? So what's happening is, more often than not, you're probably getting stuck because it's higher. It's one thing to lift your fingers off the white keys, but because this is a higher note, and it's a third finger, which is not as flexible as the second finger over here, you're probably having difficulty simply because the black key is higher. So here are a couple of fingering suggestions to see if I can get you unstuck off of that F sharp, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of rewrite this. The first third I think we're going to need to keep because I believe is going to be, you're going to be arriving there, I believe, from a scale. I don't have the music, but that's what I think I recall that's what happens, okay? So here you go. What I suggest you try, first off the bat, is something like this. Instead of the 3-1, try using a 2-1, then a 3-1, okay? And then a 4-2, okay? So here, instead of using the same finger, which is going to give you the tendency to get stuck, 5-3-1, like that, switch it. See that? 5-3-2-1. So we're going to switch 2-1, 3-1. So it just means that you're going to hop your thumb between these two notes a little bit, but I think that'll help eliminate the stuck feeling you're getting on that note. So 5-3, 2-1, 3-1, 4-2, and then return to the 2-1 again. 2-1, 3-1, 4. Here you can either use a 4 if you like, or if you really want to use that fingering to jump back down for the octave, you can do this and just squish to a 5. If that's going to be easier for you to do that way. Okay? So that's one fingering, and that's probably the easiest to change and implement. That'll probably solve that problem pretty nicely. If you want, I'm always experimenting with weird fingerings, and this may not be something that would work, but here's another thing that's just to try, just for fun. And this is going to involve making sure that you use your damper pedal to connect everything, because it's not going to connect just from the fingers themselves. But if you want to give this a try, here's a really weird one. Try 4-2, okay, 3-1, and then 4-2. So here's what it's going to look like. 4-2, so I'm going to actually jump to a 4-2, and then jump back down to a 4-2 again. 4-2, 3-1, and then perhaps squish or use a 4, either 4 or 5, either one. So here's what it looks like. So what that does is eliminates having the same finger on the notes, but of course you're jumping around a lot more. So what you would need to do is make sure that you're using your damper pedal, which you can see over here. Okay, take a look and watch how I connect everything. Okay, and together with the left hand, it's going to sound like this. Okay, so it may be a little strange, but it actually effectively unlocks your fingers a little more effectively than the other one. Again, if you want to play around with them and let me know which one you prefer, be my guest. So those are a couple of creative fingering solutions for this beautiful passage inside the Canon in D by Pachelbel, arranged by Dan Coates. I'll also be providing links for where you can find the music for purchase online. Again, it's not a digital purchase, so you won't be able to download the score, but you can have the paper version delivered to your home. So, okay, Nancy, I hope that helps. If I totally missed the premise of the question, let me know, and I'll redo the video and try to answer your question a little more helpfully next time. Okay, don't forget to have fun playing the piano.